Whew. It's been a while. It's actually been a while.
Yeah. We are back.
Are we?
We're
I don't
back
even
like we
know.
never left. We're back like we never left, baby.
2 new places. We both moved. A bunch of stuff going on. You know what? We said let's come back during the playoffs. Playoffs?
Yeah, let's come back. Yeah, playoffs. Both of us out of the playoffs. Let's come back. Yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah,
fine.
that's smart.
That
Yeah,
works.
my team chokes it
Yeah.
up in the last week, and
All good. Would you rather choke it away or never have a chance? Like,
see that. So
real
people,
question.
I said this to you. I would rather end with a winning season and not make it to the playoffs because at least you didn't lose in the first round or get demolished like some teams did, which we're going to talk about today. So
I'm not on that same wavelength, to be honest. I'd rather end in the playoffs than not.
well,
Obviously,
I think
like
the players would too with money wise, right? They'd rather have the
or
incentives.
or the alternative is you end with 0 wins on the season in your first round pick. I don't like the in between stuff.
Yeah, I get that. Well,
No.
before we jump in, what's the check down? I'm Chandler. He's David. This is what's the check down with Chandler and David. Episode 55. We're back. David, can you give me a 55? I only need one, and there's one specific one that you can give me, and we'll be good.
Bart Scott.
I don't know if he was, but the person I was looking for used to be on the number one team this year in the AFC, linebacker.
Willis or
Without
No.
without Ray Lewis.
Patrick Willis.
No, God, wow. Terrell Suggs.
Oh, Terrell Suggs. Oh, that's what I was thinking. Not
Bart Scott.
Not Bart Scott. I was thinking Terrell Suggs.
Okay, well, Terrell Suggs was that guy.
They were on the same team. I think that's not a terrible stretch.
Anyways, the thing is about it is, would you rather go like not make it and then have the whole like what's looming over Mike Tomlin's head of you made it to the playoffs, you got steamrolled out of the playoffs like every single year. His winning streak is forever, like 17 years, hasn't had a losing season. Is that enough though? Like would you rather have that?
Yes, I would rather have Mike Tomlin as my coach, never have a losing season. Yes. Every season there's a chance that you make it to the playoffs. There's a very good chance that you make it to the playoffs.
So you'll forever be good. Would you? Okay, that's actually a great question.
But never make a Super Bowl?
So would you rather forever be good and never make a Super Bowl, or have years of terribleness and win a Super Bowl, a la Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Yeah, what's the time frame? Like,
we're talking like 20 years, right? Tampa won in 2000. Okay, yeah, 20 years. Tampa hasn't been great for 20 years, but they have a Super Bowl win in it. Okay. When did the Steelers win their Super Bowl? 2009?
I want to say 2009. No, that was
the Colts. 2008? Or 200.
I think they had a Super Bowl win more previously than that, or more recently than that.
I'm gonna check it because this is important for the question.
Yeah. Let's give it some context because they've won since Mike Tomlin's been there.
Yeah, so 2009 actually was the year they won, but I assume that was the 2008 season.
Yes.
Okay. So we're gonna take the last 15 years.
Okay, so let's say so every 15 years, give or take, plus or minus 5 years.
Yeah. So okay,
you win a Super Bowl.
So we'll do this. Would you rather be good? All right, good, and never win a Super Bowl, always making playoffs. Okay. But within a 15-year stretch, you have years of terribleness and then years of winning the Super Bowl and then some average.
Okay, so the question is, would you rather be good and never make the playoff or never make the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Or even make the Super Bowl but lose?
Yeah.
Or you are stretches of terrible and stretches of average and then some years where you're just dominant.
Yeah, you win a Super Bowl.
I'm going to choose the one where I win the Super Bowl. That's
so
more
you
Super
would
Bowl
rather
in my lifetime.
You'd rather have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lifespan of having Tom Brady for a year. Mike
Tomlin has a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but I'm talking like the last 15 years. Actually, I think it was Parcells that won it, but Tomlin was on the
No, Tomlin was the head
Okay, he
coach.
was okay, but
Yeah.
regardless, I would win a Super Bowl at some point. That's all I care about.
Yeah. I mean, I still think Mike Tomlin can win a Super Bowl. Maybe not with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but he could win a Super Bowl in this league for sure. I don't know. The way most NFL guys talk about Mike Tomlin, it sounds like he's a pretty highly sought after coach, and a lot of guys like him. So I don't see why not. I don't think it's his. I think his issue is the way the coaching staff that he has around him. I think that's the biggest issue. That's also the issue with most of the league. So it is what it is. They'll figure it out eventually.
Eventually, and then if they don't, Mike Tomlin will be out, like Bill Belichick after 2 bad seasons after being dominant for 20 years. That's crazy. I don't know who they think is going to coach the Patriots and is going to win with that team, but
I mean, Gerard Mayo's
yeah,
Gerard
I
Mayo's
guess. Yeah, I forgot youngest head coach. Hey, you know what? Florida player, if I'm not
Good for him.
mistaken.
Good for He was,
Yeah.
yes.
He won the national championship with
Florida for
us.
sure. I think in the Tebow year,
2006.
or one of the Tebow years. Yeah.
Let's jump into Super Wild Card Weekend. You know, the new stupid name.
Yeah. I mean, very stupid because it was not super. It was one of the most boring weekends of football. Last year was actually great. I'll be honest. Last year was great.
The Jaguars come back.
This year,
it was just
Yeah, this year was just
curb
utter
stomp
trash.
after
To be
curb
honest,
stomp after curb stomp.
I don't know what the NFL was thinking with this, but I guess it will get years where it's great and years where it's terrible.
Yeah. We're going to go through every single game from the beginning to the end. First game, Cleveland Browns, Houston Texans.
All it.
Yeah.
All it. Browns are frauds.
I mean,
as always.
Joe Flacco did come off the couch, and they do have a lot of injuries.
I'm not going to make any excuses for anyone in this show.
Sure enough.
They're fraud. They should have won. They were the favorites to win that game. They came in there. They had already beat on the Texans already once this year and beat them bad. And then they came in here, absolutely laid an egg. So that's just what it is. And Browns need to go back to the drawing board. It was a good year, I'll be honest. Like without any of with all the adversity that they had, they still had a good year. I just think the Texans had a better year and they're a better team.
This was a revenge game for the Texans too. Like, I think about that. Deshaun Watson, the whole thing around that. Let's bring out the trade, like the draft picks that we got with this, and just let's fuck you up. And that's what they did. CJ Stroud, 16 for 21, 274, 3 touchdowns. I'm not even. He has one of the best deep balls in the league already. I don't know what their offensive coordinator is drawing up for wide receivers, be as open they are as downfield. I don't know if they're
so wide open.
I don't get it.
Like
how his ball is beautiful.
His
ball is beautiful, but his ball is beautiful to a wide open man.
Yeah, I don't know how no one else in the NFL is scheming up these wide open plays, but god damn, they are just insane. And every time it's you're gonna see him throw the ball down the field probably 6 or 7 times, and it's gonna be 4 of them will be catches for at least 50 yards, and this is without Tank Dell.
I know.
This is just with
we didn't
Nico
even
Collins.
record while Tank Dell was a thing. By the way, Tank Dell is a beast. Once he comes back, he will be possibly top 10 receiver the way he's playing.
That is a nightmare. That is a nightmare because you got Nico on one side, you got Tank on the other side. This is going to be a nightmare to cover, and they're right now they're kind of teetering on the edge of being up there with one of the best receiving cores in the league. And we can't discount what Noah Brown is doing either. I could go on all day with this offense. They are just insane. CJ Stroud just became my favorite quarterback in the league. Lamar is still my favorite. I'll be honest, Lamar is still my favorite. This is gonna be a hard weekend for me because one of those guys going out, and I kind of don't want to see that. But it is what it is. It's going to be a good weekend.
We'll do it quick at the end, see who we want to win this weekend. I know who I want to win that game. If the script writers are right, we already know who's going to win that game. I think you know that too, but we all know who the
script writers are.
But yeah, Cleveland Browns shit the bed. Joe Flacco, good for him to come out of retirement and do what he did with this team. I will give him full props for that. To like come out here, that man was slinging that ball. Unfortunately, they were out of this game before there
The
was a
wrong
chance.
team. Unfortunately, to the wrong team.
Yep.
That's where we're at. Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
Next game, Miami Dolphins literally coming out of the water to play in an ice tundra. I think that
Yeah,
might have been an
that
issue.
was not fair.
I think the weather really did impact a lot of these games. Obviously, I mean Texans playing a dome, so that was not impacted.
Yeah,
But
not that one.
yeah, but the
The two
Dolphins,
the two dome games, the two dome games. There's no excuse.
very true. But the one dome game was close. So and
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah.
uh, I called this one. Dolphins were a fraud. I said at the beginning of the year, even after they
Yeah.
like.
I'll say the weather. A lot of injuries. They were down a lot of guys on defense. They had both their best edge rushers out. I will give the Dolphins a pass for this year because they did not go into the
Nope,
playoffs.
they made it to
This
the
is
playoffs.
no,
We
no,
don't give a pass
no,
to
no,
the
no,
teams that
no,
make
no,
the
no,
playoffs.
no,
You
no
said it, so we're
excuses.
going with it.
We make no excuses. Dolphins frauds.
That I mean, it's the Chiefs just looked like the better team across. I mean, give you an idea. 4th and 2, Patrick Mahomes rolling out and he runs for 30 fucking yards down the sideline and gets two-hand touched on the side. If that doesn't tell you
Yeah.
enough, like
They didn't want to play that game, to be honest. Like I've played in cold games. We've both played in cold games. I get it. Honestly, every hit hurts. Every hit you take, every hit you make, it's gonna hurt. And if you haven't played in that, if you've been playing in South Beach, living it up, that's not the kind of football you want to play. And that's on them though. That's on them. They shouldn't have lost last week to Josh Allen. They proved themselves to be fraud last week when they lost their first playoff game and then got a second chance and again laid an egg. It is what it is.
2 of the most dominant teams, the Dolphins and the Eagles, show their true colors this week.
I mean, the Eagles for sure.
We'll get to that in a minute. Yeah. I mean, Chiefs do what they do. They win in the playoffs. As much as people want to be annoyed by the Chiefs, they win in the playoffs. Like they get it done. So, I mean,
Yeah.
Rasheen Rice
We'll see what they do
might
this
be
week.
Rasheen Rice. If we're talking about someone, he might be
him for sure, absolutely him.
Yeah.
And we'll see if he's up to the challenge this week. But yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
Next game, in Dan Campbell we trust and Dan Campbell we love.
Always.
I mean,
Always
gets a first Detroit win in playoffs in over 30 years. Gets this team
That's
ready
why
to
you're
go.
rocking the blue.
Like
that's why you're rocking
yeah,
the blue.
right?
I get
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I think we all
There
are.
it
I
is.
think deep down we're all Detroit Lions fans. Even people that like who can't like the Detroit. Even if you're a Packers fan, it's not like they've ever been a threat to you. Like
Yeah, what can you say about? Can you imagine a Packers Detroit NFC Championship?
it
boy,
might be
that'd
happening. But no, like truly,
match made in heaven.
Rams exceeded expectation this year. We did not expect the Rams to even be in the
Absolutely.
playoffs. So for them to even stand in this game is surprisingly enough. But I mean,
I'm just gonna say, Puka Nacua, greatest football player to ever do it. Just want to put that out there. That is what it. That's just is what it is. He's the greatest football player to ever play this game.
if I would have given you the
there's-
stat line of 181 with 1 touchdown in a playoff game, you would have been, oh yeah, Cooper Kupp. Oh yeah, easy.
Yeah.
And then if I would have told
Cooper
you,
Kupp,
no.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Cooper Kupp was 5-27. 5 receptions,
Yeah.
27 yards. Puka Nacua,
Yeah.
who? This guy who's been
Puka
balling since week
Just
1 this year.
like one of the best draft picks I've seen in a long time. Because nobody thought he was going to be this good.
I mean,
right
look
off
at,
the bat.
Look at
And
Kyren Williams too.
Kyren Williams as well. Yeah, like that. Those are just two players that I don't know how they said F them picks and then they decided to just pick the best players in the draft.
I mean, Cooper Kupp, like people gotta remember this team knows how to draft. That's why they're not worried about it.
That's crazy. That's if it wasn't for CJ Stroud or Puka might be rookie of the year. It's just that simple. Like he's been balling. and he came into the playoff game and decided, oh yeah, let me just step it up a notch. Like you thought I was good in the regular season. Watch this. That's what he did. He said he pulled the usher. Watch this.
I am not excited for that.
Yeah. Speaking of,
I'm not
Super
excited
Bowl
for
gonna
that.
be good.
Detroit Lions moving on. We're all happy for Dan Campbell. We're all happy for the Lions. Happy for Jared Goff. This is a great game for him to come back and like truly step it up. Jameer Gibbs and Montgomery. Who would have thought that backfield would be? Other like Gibbs, yes,
Another
we had expectations
another
for,
set of another rookie that's just insanely good. That is just
and they don't even
gonna
use
be
them.
so good. And yeah, he's in a committee back, and he's. I mean, honestly, I'm okay with the way they use him because when they use him, he is absolutely lightning in a bottle. Which is just insane to see. The NFL is in good hands. Like for how much talk of like the decline of football, blah blah blah. The NFL is in good hands, and I'm so excited for the next few years.
I mean, Amon Ra is about to get a contract. We have Jameer Gibbs, who's new. Jamison Williams, like with him coming back, he's another electric player. Once he kind of gets his footing, he'll be great. Sam Laporta, the fuck, like great tight end, already a top 10 tight end, maybe even top 5 tight end, and he's a rookie. Like this guy just. And maybe it's just the elevation of Jared Goff. Maybe Jared Goff is just making the plays that he needs to, and this team is rallying around him. So
I mean, I'll be honest. I'll make a semi bold statement right now. I think the in the next, let's say, 3 years, I think the Lions will go to the Super Bowl. I'll make that statement right now. With the way their team is set up and the way their whole coaching staff is, that's one thing where you see the difference between the Eagles and the Lions. The Eagles already had a good team when Nick Sirianni came in. They're already a pretty decent team. They had just won the Super Bowl, I think, like 3 or 4 years prior, and he kind of lucked into that team. Had a great coach in Shane Steichen. Let him go, but Dan Campbell's building his team up. They are building the whole thing up from the ground up, and this is how I think you build a team, and this is how I think you build success. Is you start from the ground up and you work your way up, unlike and as opposed to the other Eagles style where you inherit something and you fumble the bag, and that's what Nick Sirianni is doing right now. Even though they made it to the Super Bowl last year, I still think they got lucky. I still think they lucked out that the Niners had no quarterback.
they're on their fourth
We
string.
never talked.
If Christian McCaffrey
We
is throwing
never
the
talked about
football
that.
as a
We
actual
never talk about
quarterback,
that.
like and not as a wildcat formation, like he was the emergency quarterback when he is throwing the
No.
ball in the NFC Championship. There's issues. So
Yeah, and like I said, we never talk about that. That's just insane to me that we never talk about that. They lucked into their Super Bowl. It was a great Super Bowl, granted, but I think the Niners would have won it last year. Let's see what they do this year.
um, I agree with you. Another one, Aiden Hutchinson, second year, 4 tackles, 2 sacks, great game. I mean, second
Great
overall
game.
pick. I will say, as a Jaguars fan, Trayvon Walker looked a lot better this year. I think he ended with, if I'm not mistaken, like 12 or 11 sacks, which is great. Aiden Hutchinson has just been dominant, so I'm really happy for him. Next game, the fuck you McCarthy game. Um,
Hell yeah. My favorite game of the whole entire thing.
27-0.
And I knew I had a good feeling that Mike McCarthy, when the bright lights came on, when his old team comes in, he was gonna shit the bed, and they were gonna shit the bed. They're just not a well coached team. That's a sign of a not well coached team. Because if you think about it, all year they've been beating on these trash teams that come into their facilities, and they're so good at home.
They're
This
them
and that.
boys.
Blah 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 blah. This that and the third. But and then even and I don't think the Packers are that good. I don't think this is the Packers' years or this is the Packers' year. I could be wrong. Jordan Love is absolutely balling, so I could eat those words, but I don't think it is. And they came in. The Packers came in and absolutely they showed them what it looks like to be a well-coached team, or in even just mediocrely well-coached team. The Cowboys are just not a good coached team, and I don't think they ever will be until Jerry Jones stops making uh, decisions and lets his son make the decision, or they just you know give up all control of the decision making, which will never happen until you know
You ever been so
Jerry's up in
obsessed
heaven.
something, like so obsessed with something that you're blinded by it? Has it ever happened to you? Like you're
Oh yeah,
so obsessed
oh yeah.
with getting something. You have a goal in your mind and like no one is gonna block you, but like you keep knocking yourself back and back and back over and over again because you're so blinded by what you want. Jerry Jones
Absolutely.
with wanting to win a Super
Yeah.
Bowl. He's literally in his own way. If he just shut the hell up and just took a step back, he'd probably win 2 or 3 because they would get the right people in. They would figure it out. People do want to play for the Cowboys as much as like the Cowboys
Hire
are like.
Belichick. Hire
Bill
Belichick.
Belichick would never in his life coach the Dallas
I
Cowboys.
I feel like for the right amount of money, anyone will coach
The
anywhere.
thing is that
That's
the issue with the
I know that the issue is that he wouldn't want to listen to Jerry. The thing with Robert Kraft is that he let Bill Belichick have a lot of power and was hands off, but with Jerry, there's no chance of that. So
yeah.
but maybe that's nice for Bill Belichick because he doesn't like to talk in the media and do all that kind of stuff. Jerry can do all that, and Bill Belichick will do the rest.
I agree with you with that. I don't think this necessarily was the Packers. It was obviously just the Cowboys. I mean, give the Packers some credit. They came to play. They did what they needed to do, and they destroyed. Absolutely did a
That
great game.
The thing that shocked me, I knew they were going to blow that game. I did not know that they were going to blow that game on defense. I thought it was going to be on offense. I thought Dak was going to, I mean, he did blow the game on offense, but they also blew it on
Dak
defense,
actually
which is,
played for the Green
yeah,
Bay Packers offense.
yeah, he was really good on the Green Bay Packers offense. And at the end, he was good for the Cowboys offense. Obviously, garbage time points don't really count because again, you still lost the game. So like that just is what it is. For me, I just feel like yeah, Dak is his time in Dallas might be numbered.
They might have.
And I would.
It's like they was screwed up by signing Zeke and not signing him and creating a lot of controversy and shooting themselves in the foot, and now have this issue.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Now they're stuck with a giant contract, which I don't. I guess they can't really get out of. So is Dak better become the quarterback that they need him to be before, like very quickly. And to be fair, like they did score enough points for them to beat any other team. They just gave up way more points than they ever have in the whole season, essentially. So
Yeah.
how do you get your ass kicked that bad?
Yeah.
Is my question. Like how are you so unprepared, so ill prepared for a playoff game? You just thought shit was sweet. You thought you were just gonna get the Packers in, get them out, on to the next team. We're on to the Niners. That was your mentality, and honestly, it serves you right. Simple as that. Serves you guys right.
I just gotta say, good on the Packers again. I think they have the most. Their wide receiver corps names are like so like would not expect this player to be in the NFL. Like it's probably 2 years too soon. I'll give them that. But like just listen to these names and tell me this seemed like a wide receiver core that like you can really build around. Romeo Dobbs, obviously baller. Name does not pop off the screen though. Okay, Romeo Dobbs, Luke Musgrave.
Wait. Yeah, that's fair. That sounds like a bank, like an accountant for sure.
Tucker Kraft,
Yeah, that guy sells jet skis.
Bo Melton,
Yeah, that guy is a professional bullfighter.
Jaden Reed.
Jaden Reed is he's a TikToker. He's TikToking. He's big on TikTok actually.
And I don't know if I'm going to pronounce his name properly. Dontavian Wicks.
Yeah, that guy is a trapper. He is trapping. that is. But to be honest, Ontario Wicks, that's a sick name. That's a pretty sick. For
I mean, just that those names, like they don't. There's no one there that like. And then Aaron Jones. Which, if you heard Aaron Jones, you wouldn't expect when you
Again,
see Aaron
another
Jones,
accountant for sure. Aaron
Emmanuel
Jones,
Wilson.
yeah, yeah. That guy's that preacher.
When you just hear their name, like, I know this sounds stupid because everyone, it's just a name, but like when you hear their names, like, you don't have, like, if I go into the Cowboys, Brandon Cooks, let him cook, right?
Yeah, let him cook.
Michael Gallup galloping, right? Like, it's just something about it. Like,
PD Lamb.
yeah.
That's a dog.
Yeah, right. Even Jake Ferguson, that's also an accountant. But anyways,
Yeah, I mean, he was racking up the numbers.
he was. He was.
For sure.
If that was fantasy, oh my God, people would be happy. 3
Ooh,
touchdowns,
that would've
93
been- that would've been-
yards.
Yeah, we lost, but we won at the same time. Whoever bet on his parlays or on his props,
Yeah.
they made out with some money.
Fuck McCarthy and fuck the Dallas Cowboys.
Fuck the Cowboys.
Steelers,
On
Buffalo
to the
Bills. This, like, I mean, come on. I don't even care. Like,
Move on.
Bills are better. Bills deserve to be known as the best team in the AFC East. I get it.
No.
Like, they played the Pittsburgh
No.
Steelers. Who?
No, they do not. Bills do not deserve to be known as the best team in the NFC.
They beat the Dolphins
in the
last
NFC.
week.
NFC.
AFC.
Do you say NFC?
AFC East, sir.
Just East.
Just East. Their division.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
I thought you were just saying all of the AFC.
No.
I was like, whoa.
No.
Slow that roll way down.
Buffalo Bills are the best team in the AFC East for another year. I mean, other than it being proven,
Absolutely.
it's just like people need to stop doubting them. Josh Allen is a lot better than what people give him credit for. He turns the ball over, yes, but he makes plays.
So what? They're still 10-6, were they not?
12, actually, or 11-6. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So what? What are those picks doing now? Nothing.
And to throw in that wind, 21 for 30, 203 yards, 3 touchdowns, and also ran that 52-yard touchdown. To do that in like the worst weather ever.
Real quick before we keep going on, play of the week is Khalil Shakir. That was one of the craziest 20-yard touchdowns I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if you saw it, but he dipped underneath, I think it was Poyer or Hyde, I can't remember. Dipped underneath Hyde, wiggled, and scored. It was perfection. That should have been a 5-yard game.
With your cleats being an ice rock ground.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It was amazing.
I bet he'll watch that all weekend and all year and be like, imagine if I had a quarterback.
I bet you the Chiefs are saying we got to tackle because that's what the Steelers didn't do. And that's also what the next team, the Eagles, didn't do either.
Wait. We'll get to that. Chiefs did tackle, though, in their game, and it was similar weather. They did wrap up and everything.
And I think the weather is going to be a little better this week, but it's still going to be a cold game, and it's going to be interesting to see because I don't think the Buffalo defense is as good as that Buffalo offense, and I think if the Chiefs win, it's going to be because the Buffalo defense let them down.
Chiefs Bills games are always just really difficult to call. You don't know which one you're going to get of each team.
I think the Chiefs are going to win this one personally, but
what do the Steelers do at quarterback?
Draft someone.
Kenny Pickett's
done. Move on from all of them. They've proven that they can't be. I don't think Kenny Pickett is a good enough player to get them to the Super Bowl. And ultimately that's the goal with a team like Pittsburgh. They're not in rebuild mode. They're always a good team. Get a good quarterback. Mason Rudolph was good for most of the year or most of the time that he was there, and you saw what they did. Get him a good quarterback. That seems like all that they need. Even if they're a little bit mediocre on defense, the most mediocre Pittsburgh defense is still a good defense. So get a good quarterback, and that's just ultimately, I think that's what's holding them back. And I don't think they are. I think they just need to get rid of the quarterbacks personally.
Yeah. We'll see next year. I don't think Pickett will be gone next year. They'll probably rock with him one more year, and then next year he's just gonna lose out of the he's gonna lose the starting job first 3 games, something like that. They're gonna be like, hey, this quarterback has the same amount of touchdowns as Kenny Pickett does in his first 28 games, like they did all year this year, and then they'll end up drafting a new quarterback.
There's something to be said about quarterbacks just sitting for a couple of years, because if you look at Jordan Love, he sat for a couple of years, learned under a veteran quarterback. Granted, one of the best quarterbacks to ever do it, but still learned under a really good quarterback and figured it out. And now in his his first year, he's in the playoffs. He's in the second round of the playoffs. Why don't you let those quarterback like it? And I think it's ultimately part of down to the fan base not being able to lose for a couple of years and then move on to winning seasons. It is what it is. Like
See, here's the thing: they don't get high draft picks because they don't lose, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
they're not getting the first pick. They're not going to get Caleb Williams because guess why?
And they're not. And they're not trading anyone. They're not trading for picks. They're not doing a lot to. They're not getting rid of players to get better picks. So it's kind of a
circle of effect. Being good but not good enough.
Yeah, I mean that is true.
Next game is fuck the NFC East.
Facts.
Fuck the Eagles.
I'm on that train too. Fuck the Cowboys. Fuck the Eagles. Don't talk about the Giants. Fuck the
Commanders
football team. Commanders. Yeah, fuck all those guys.
I was a year too soon on Baker Mayfield. I said it was going to happen last year with Carolina. It didn't happen last year with Carolina. Maybe that team just isn't good enough. But you know what? Baker Mayfield showed that it's not him. He's not the problem.
He is him, and it's not him. Yeah. But the Eagles defense really, really allowed him to.
If Bradbury is actually legally allowed to step foot in Philadelphia, I will like.
Yeah, I'd be shocked. That man was looking cooked from the first play. He was just not there. That guy was on vacation. He was in Cancun.
He was already in Cancun. Yeah, like he was
His
already.
Bags were packed.
Like, guys, I have a tea time in 20 minutes. Like, what are we doing? Football?
My Cowboy homies are in Cancun already. I got to meet them there. That was just such horrendous play. And at some point, you just got to be, as a coach, take someone out of the game. If they are literally actively costing you that much, get him out of the game.
Well, I mean, how can you when your offense can't do shit either?
I mean, to be fair, he is a really good cornerback or had been in the past, but this game was not his best showing. And I think to me, this is the one thing I was curious about, because Darius Slay was on the Detroit Lions at some point, correct?
Mm-hmm.
He was being coached by Matt Patricia at that point, and he left Detroit because of Matt Patricia. And then who becomes his coach this year? Randomly, out of nowhere. How do you not know your players? Why would you put that guy as his main defensive coach now? After being disrespectful,
I don't care.
He was
I'm okay with it.
by Matt Patricia.
I'm okay with it.
I am not.
I'm okay with it because
that is terrible coaching.
They deserve poverty. They have no class in any way. Nick Sirianni gets popcorn poured on him. He's a bitch. Yeah, that too. But gets popcorn poured on him by his own teammate or on his own fan.
Yeah, because he's a bitch.
I agree.
The Eagles were loving it when he was shaking his face all over the cameras, all that kind of stuff. And now you see the other side of it when he becomes a bum, because that's what he is. He's a bum. Plain and simple.
People are like, you just don't like the Eagles because they're the Eagles. Like, no, we don't like them because they act like fucking idiots. And then the only people that people like on the Eagles, I want you to know, AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts, because when Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl has to tell your coach to shut the fuck up, like, again, I gotta go back to this.
It's embarrassing.
Like,
it's embarrassing.
Like, he literally had to tell his coach, can you not act like a fucking child right now? Like, you're fucking children. Jalen Hurts.
There's no adults in the room.
Like,
the only adult is Jalen Hurts.
I mean, the offensive line, everyone loves every person on the offensive line. Like,
yeah, sorry. I forget about the offensive line. They are great.
Sad
And I feel
news
bad
about
for Jason
this.
Kelsey.
Yeah, like last game of his
Yeah.
career.
Had to go out sad. I wish he would have been in the Super Bowl, but honestly, that would have been a
Do
bittersweet
you think
thing
the
for me
tush push
personally.
ended his career?
Probably. I don't think we're gonna see much of the tush push anymore. And honestly, they figured out a way to stop it. I mean, granted, they did almost kill Jalen Hurts, but they figured it out. If you're gonna put your quarterback in that situation, better buckle up.
He might die.
Yeah, because we will pull his neck off of his body.
I was
It's just that simple.
so happy. I actually bet for the Eagles to win. I am so glad they lost. I am glad I lost money on this.
I did not bet for the Eagles to win. They were a mess, and I figured that they were going to be messy on Sunday or Monday or whatever it was, and I was right on that one.
I thought I was going to give them a
One
chance
of,
to benefit of
one
the
of the
doubt.
very few I got right.
But I'm so glad all NFC East teams are out. I cannot stand any
As
of
am
them.
I. As a hater of every team in the NFC East except for one, I am very glad that they're all out as
Hey,
well.
I'm happy
And
the
now
Texans are still in it. Give it up for the Texans.
don't care. I am glad they're all out because the NFC East fans, as a collective, we have the worst fan base in the entire world. But I will exclude Washington because they're just dealing with a whole nother
It's
level
not.
of
Yeah,
trash
they're
on
kind of.
that
Yeah,
side.
it's not.
It's not
It's
fair.
their fault.
I'm gonna leave them out. I'm gonna leave them out of it. But the Eagles suck. The Cowboys suck. The Giants suck. They all suck. So you know what? I'm glad we're all out. None of us deserve a Super Bowl.
All right, so we're gonna get into this week's games. Hard Rock Sportsbooks opened up in Florida, so I can bet here like no problem now, which is great. So I am a delinquent and an idiot and gonna throw money on all these games. First game, Texans
Hell yeah.
at the Ravens, Saturday, January 20th in Baltimore. I don't know what the weather's gonna be like. It's gonna be important. It's obviously gonna be chilly up there. Who you got? Does the week does the bye week help the Ravens? I don't think it does.
No,
Not this
I don't
team.
think it does. They didn't have many injuries. They were rolling or going into the playoffs. I don't think it hurts them personally. I don't think it helps them, but I don't think it hurts them. I think they're going to come out sluggish in the first quarter, and then they'll pick it up in the subsequent quarters. But I also think that they're going to win because that defense is great and the offense is really good. I think that it's going to come down to the two quarterbacks as it always does. I think whoever plays better wins, and I'm not one to doubt CJ Stroud because everywhere he's gone, he's won. In every big game, he's won. Or he's been right there. So I think it's going to be a close one. The books, from what I saw, have him at plus 10. I think that's a little bit too much.
That's crazy.
Like that's a pretty wide margin. I don't think the Ravens are covering that even in the slightest chance. I think it'll be like closer to plus 3. But I don't know what the books know that I don't know. So
It's right now.
we'll see.
It's plus 9. So that's with an over under of 45. Well, 44.5. That's a low over under for
Yeah.
a 9-point
Well,
spread.
I mean, I think the books believe in the Ravens defense as much as I do then.
If the defense can hold for the first quarter, like you said, they're going to come out sluggish on offense. Unless they just pop off. First drive for the Ravens is going to be a field goal.
To be fair, those big bombs don't work in a stadium like M&T Bank Stadium, especially at this point in the year. That's a cold stadium. Baltimore is a cold place. It's not going to be nice and warm in like in the dome that they've played in twice now. I just don't think it's going to be as cushy as it was for them last week. Is there a world where I see the Texans winning this game? Absolutely. Because we've seen Lamar not have his best games in the playoffs. I'm hoping it's different this year. It feels different this year. Something feels different. For me personally, something feels different. I think the Ravens are going to take this one.
I do too. I think Baltimore will grab this game. I think it will depend on that defense, just not letting the Texans get up by 10. This gets scary. Texans up by 7.
Yeah.
They're a great team playing ahead. That's one thing D'Amico Ryans has done a great job of is, hey, we get ahead, we win. We push on the gas pedal. We don't let them catch up. So if
The thing, the,
go ahead.
sorry, the thing with the Ravens is that they play really good run defense, and so it's not a thing where you can just run the ball and kill the clock and
But the
just try
Texans don't
and win.
necessarily do that. I don't think that's their
Yeah,
Texans
they
game.
don't. They don't.
They put their
They
foot
are.
down. They're like, hey, CJ, we're up by 10. Go throw a 50-yard bomb.
And that's where again I don't think it's gonna work because the Ravens' best attribute is their pass rush and their DBs. And they have great linebackers too. Honestly, I'm just selling myself on a Ravens Super Bowl at this point.
I
So
think
we
you.
just
I
need to
think you're
move
already
on
sold
from
on
this.
that. But Green Bay
Yeah, I think I'm
Packers
sold
at
on
San
this.
Fran. I don't think the Packers have a good enough chance. I shouldn't say that. The Packers can come out and surprise people. I think San Fran needed that week. I think that week did help them. I think they're going to come back a lot healthier. They're going to be.
Yeah.
They needed that refresh, especially Christian McCaffrey, and just like that entire offensive that entire offense. They're just too high powered. It's like a racehorse. It needs a break. Can't race for 3 months. Purdy's looked good this year. He's looked manageable. This team is the best team in the NFC, and I don't think the Packers, with their wide receiver core of TikTok influencers and accountants, is going to go into Levi Stadium and show them what's up.
Like we said, 1 year too early. If Jordan Love manages to do this, he's already better than Aaron Rodgers in my eyes. I'm just saying. That's all I'm going to say about that. To me, he's already better than Aaron Rodgers.
That's crazy. No, but anyways,
hey, that's my opinion.
Your opinion is silly. Tampa Bay at Detroit, probably going to be one of the closer games. I mean, it is -6 for Detroit. I think this game might be closer than what people say. I think it could be a 2-point game.
Oh yeah, I think it'll be.
This can be a
gross
game.
I think Detroit wins.
I do
Detroit
too.
Wins.
I think it's gonna be like a 20 to 17.
Like, don't forget, 2 weeks removed, we saw the Tampa Bay Buccaneers struggle against the Carolina Panthers. Like
that is true.
Struggle.
And what was 0-26? Yeah. What was that? That was
they won. They won. I think it was like 9-0.
Yeah.
So I mean. I don't think it's going to be the same this week, but I don't think they're as good as the Eagles were just bad. So
yeah,
and it's great for Baker because he gets another chance to prove himself. Again, if Baker proves himself, if Baker does it, he's better than Tom Brady. That's just my opinion. Don't attack me. That's my opinion.
The reason why I say this game is going to be a lot closer than what it seems is I think that the trap about the Detroit Lions is sometimes they play down to their competition. Right, that was kind of their issue all year. It was like they kind of played down. They didn't necessarily was like, oh yeah, this is a wash for the Lions. They're gonna win this week. It was a lot closer than what it should have been, and I think that's what I'm worried about with them now. Is like, hey, what's gonna go on here?
I don't think they'll play down. I think they do love being the underdogs. I think they work better that way, but I do think that they will rise to the occasion. I think they're gonna get the win this week. Like teams have shown us who they are for the past few weeks. There's very little exception to that rule. Teams will show you who they are pretty early on in the year, and yeah, they can get better. But right now, the teams that have been hot as of late should continue to be hot, and the teams that haven't will see themselves out, as we've seen in the last few as we saw last week. So for me, I think that it is just going to be one of those things where the Lions they've been hot and they have been on a roll. They would have had like I think 5 wins in a row or whatever if not for the Cowboys game that they got gypped. I think I can say that. But yeah, like I just think it's gonna be Detroit. It's going to be a Detroit Niners NFC Championship.
Yeah. This game's kind of surprising me. It does have Buffalo Bills at home, favored by 3. Before I get to the game, NFL schedulers. Okay, listen to me. Listen to me really quick. We just had a game where teams were playing at -20. This game is supposed to be in Buffalo. It's still cold in Buffalo, okay? Why the fuck are we playing at 6:30 p.m. at night? When you had a 3 p.m. slot open, I get it. It's supposed to be the better game. But listen, we got to think about quality of the game. It's going to be freezing. All right? I think the quality would be better at the hottest point of the day rather than the cold. Now, it might be like 5 degrees, 10 degrees, but when you're standing, we both know this. When it's -degrees, that extra 3 hours, if sunlight when it's fucking cold,
difference, yeah.
Makes a difference.
It makes a difference for sure. Yeah, no. I mean, the only thing that the NFL schedulers have done this offseason so far that's pissed me off, and I'm not even in America, is put it on Peacock. What the hell is that shit? Why would you do that?
I love it because honestly, I use Peacock. So
yeah, because you have Peacock.
I mean, to me, it made sense. I'm not gonna lie. To me, that part made sense because really, I mean, we pay all this money. It's a playoff game. You know what? Fuck you. If you want to watch our games,
you're sounding real elitist right
yeah,
now.
Hey,
That's an elitist take from a Peacock user.
But like, you didn't have to pay for it. It was free. You want my issue with NFL? You want my issue with all the games being on fucking CBS and NBC and like NBC games? I can watch every single game for free. Every single game. Why? Because it's Sunday Night Football. It's always on Peacock. It's great. Damn, Thursday Night Football. It's on Prime. You know what you can do? You can watch it on Twitch.tv if you wanted to for free. You don't need a Prime account. You know what pisses me off is the fact that games are on CBS and ABC, or not fucking CBS and Fox, and I can't fucking watch them because you have to pay for a subscription. So I have to pay $100 for cable or figure out a way to pay for it, and then I have blackout. Everything's blocked out. Can't watch it. So if you want to talk about the real issue, at least I can watch the game for free on Peacock. It's just downloading an app.
Hey, don't attack me. I'm just.
And what do you have? You probably have DAWs. You have DAWs, don't you?
Yeah, we have the zone over here. I got all.
How much is it?
Game.
And how much is it monthly?
Problem. $20, no problem. I'm good.
$20 Canadian.
No issue.
But do you realize one channel for me to watch any of these, minimum of 30? You have to pay for a fucking subscription and everything. I don't want YouTube TV. I don't want it. Why do I want to pay $300 for an NFL Sunday ticket? Why? What is great about
you get to watch the game? At least you get to watch the game.
You know what I do? I'll pay for NFL Plus. I'll pay for that. You know why? Because luckily I live close enough to the Jaguars that I can maybe get one of their games. You know what I'll do if I don't? I'll fucking illegally watch that shit. Yeah, you heard it. NFL from me. I don't care. You have enough money. Yeah. You have Usher playing your halftime show. You're making the big bucks now. All the big bucks because Usher's playing the NFL halftime show.
Hell yeah. That's why we're buying tickets. It's because of Usher.
I have Chiefs winning this game. I think the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC. They are the better team against Buffalo. I think that when it comes to in the AFC, and we'll talk about that next week when both these teams make it. I just can't count off Patrick Mahomes. I know it's crazy. Like we talk about this game being a quarterback game. Patrick Mahomes is that dude. Will be that dude until someone proves that he's not that dude. The old man looking like we should just call him Benjamin Button at this point, because that's what he is. He's an old man living in a young man's body. Like,
facts.
And I
had the Chiefs winning, but now I don't know if I want to be on your side. I'm gonna go Bills Mafia. I think Josh Allen's gonna do it. But if the Chiefs were to win, hypothetically, it would probably be because Josh Allen throws picks, and that's just what it is.
3 interceptions, 1 fumble, but not lost. 3 interceptions, 1 fumble. Chris Jones.
1 touchdown.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing, 1 throwing.
One rushing touchdown. 1 throwing touchdown. I think that's the game ends 27-22.
I'm going to go a little bit higher. I'm going to go 31 because, interceptions. One's going to be a pick 6. One of them's going to be a pick 6. We're going to go 31-20.
All right.
For the Chiefs.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know how 22 came about, but
there's a safety. There's going for 2. There might be a field goal. The weather. Maybe the ball gets knocked out of the end zone, and we're going to have that question about the rule of if the team should give it up or it should be a touchback. Which, yes, it should be a touchback. Stop reaching for the fucking goal line. All right.
I don't know about that one. No, we'll discuss in the offseason. That's an off-season topic.
Other than that, for episode 55, I'm Chandler. He is David. This is What's to Check Down with Chandler and David. Until maybe next time. I don't know when. Probably next
Who
week.
knows?
Peace.